join, we'll start because I already waited for 10 minutes. So let's start with our today's lecture. Okay. So in the previous lecture, that means on Tuesday's lecture, I closed with the different types of custom duty. And I told that in today's lecture, we will be discussing about the what are the rates which will be covering under these different types of custom duty that we will see, I said. Okay. So let's see those rates now. Okay. So in basic custom duty, okay, in this, the duty will be collected based on the value of the goods. Okay, so this particular basic custom duty, the rate of the duty is 20%, but in your finance bill which is passed in the year 2007, the rate has been reduced to 10%. Okay, and now also they are collecting only 10%. The basic custom duty is only 10%. Okay, next one is your national claim contingency duty. Actually, this particular uh, duty was collected on the hazardous goods like pan masala, chewing gum, chewing tobacco, and cigarettes. Okay, and the percentage charged is 10 to 15%. 1 second, students. 1 second. Continue. Okay, so special additional duty, we are talking about national calamity contingency duty. Basically, this duty will be levied for the goods where it is harmful, or where you are exporting any goods from any luxury goods from outside the country. Okay, example, harmful goods like pan masala or chewing tobacco and cigarettes will be charged the rate of 10 to 15%, and for your imported cars or multi-utility vehicle or two wheelers, they will be charging 1%. Okay, and also charged per ton rupees 50 will be charged uh, from 2003. Okay, next one is your special additional duty. This was been special duty additional charges is 4% will be charged, and it is charged from the year 1988. Okay, and your additional duty was being collected 1% for the goods uh, like liquor and other these things. If you export from outside the country, then 1% will be charged. And the next one is productive duty. So in the productive duties is like a cess, it will be imposed. For educational cess, they are collecting 2%, and for higher education, it is 1% is collected. Okay, so productive duty is for development purpose they are collecting, and it is 211%. And next one is countervailing duty. It is charged for any if you pay any goods which is imported on basis of subsidy, for that it is collected, and the charges will be based on the basic duty only. So they don't collect any they collect the duty which is based on the value of the goods, they will collect it. Okay, they didn't mention any specific percentage for this particular countervailing duty. And last one is anti-dumping duty. Basically, anti-dumping duty is charged based on the goods which you imposed, and the rate is per kg they were charging $1.08, and it may varies to $8.6. So this is a range from which they are collecting the anti-dumping duties. Okay, so now in today's lecture we will be learning about the classification of goods, how in your custom duty the goods are classified. Okay, classification of goods. Okay, so basically, the custom under the custom duty, the goods are classified based on your HSN code, or HSN schedule only. It is classified. What does mean by this HSN code? It is nothing but it is a no normatized commodity uh, description number. Okay, it is called as HSN. Okay, normatized commodity description, we call it as HSN number. This number will be common for all over the world. It is this HSN number will not be only for India. It is for all over the country. Suppose if you take a rice, the rice code will be common to all the countries because maybe the classification of the goods which we do may be vary, but the name of the particular goods will remain the same under your HSN code. Okay, and how your commodity duty will be calculated is it is based on the value. How the custom duty is calculated is how the custom duty is calculated is it's based on the value of the goods, that is what good you are what is the price at which you are purchase the goods into what is your today's exchange rate into your rate of the duty. That means what percentage which is charged for that particular commodity will give you the custom duty value. Okay. So the rate of the duty will be based on the classification of goods under which head it was been coming. Based on that, the rate of the duty will be determined. Suppose, for example, if you are importing any mobile phones, okay, the purpose for importing the mobile phones, if it is for the camera, then the camera rate may be vary, and if it is a mobile phone, the rate may be vary. Okay, but if you're using the phone for calling, then it might be vary. Okay, but basically, government whenever you import any goods, they will not see the purpose. They will see which is the higher tax only. Okay, so in that case, which is the higher one, they will charge it. But according to you, you might be using it. You will be paying the tax at the lower point. Okay, so to avoid that confusion, okay, so what the government did is they have classified the goods under different heads. Okay, so let me show the classifications of goods. Okay, so this is the way your goods will be classified. Okay, so basically the classification of goods is having 98 chapters. Okay, so totally they are having um, 98 chapters it will be there. Okay, and it will be having subheads of it will be having the subheads as well as heading, and the tariffs items will be given. So this is the way the uh, goods will be classified under your tariff rates. Okay, and if you see each and every goods tariffs, how it will be classified is, suppose for example chapter number 1 is animal. Okay, live animals, how the tariff item or how the rates you can distribute is 001 will determine your chapter, and 001 will determine the heading. Okay, this is your chapter. Okay, that is live animal. Under that, your live horses or SSC, that will come under 001, and then only your item of goods will be coming. Okay, and this daughter, that means they have given some dashes, right? So the one, if they give only one dash, that means it is under sub classification. Sub classification means the horse is coming under the live horses. Okay, if you are having two dashes, means that means live horses. Under live horses you have horses. Under horses you will be having pure breed breeding animals. So this is a percentage. Suppose if you having three daughters, means immediate um, replication of your headings will having three daughters. Okay, and based on that the rates has been given in the schedule. Okay, so this is the way you will be reading this customs tariff duty charts. Okay, so let's come back to our classification. Okay, so custom duties comes under your section 12 of your Customs Act. Okay, so section 12 only will deals about the custom duties. Okay, and the custom duty will be paid for the importing of goods. Okay, so this custom duty classification has two schedules. Okay, the first schedule talks about your what are the goods which you can import from uh, import from other country. What are the import duties which you have will come under your schedule 1. Okay, so import duties rates will come under your schedule 1, and in your schedule 2 you will be having your export duty. Okay, schedule 1 will talks about your export duties. What are the export duties you have? All will come under your schedule 1. Suppose if any item which is not mentioned in the schedule, in that case those items will be fully exempted from the tax, so you don't want to pay any charges for that particular goods. Okay, and custom tariff act was basically based on the Brazil nomenclature. Okay, it is designed based on the nomenclature of the Brazil form. Okay, and why they have created a common code or common nomenclature for the goods is to avoid the confusions between the countries' trade. They have formed this HSN number. Okay, so HSN number purpose is to avoid the confusions. Suppose if I am writing rice according to our Indian terms, in that case, it might the rice can be maybe called as any other name in different countries. To avoid that confusions, they are using this HSN number. Okay, and according to the new schedule of this HSN number, certain commodities has been included or has been refined from the year February 28, 1996. Okay, and it was developed by who created this HSN schedule is it is developed by your Customs Cooperative Council. They are the council member who will created this or who will give the codes or number for the commodities. Okay, and this HSN code is accepted by the nomenclature standards by different countries to have a uniform in classification of the international trade. Okay, so this is all about the HSN number. And what is the features of this HSN classification? Okay, HSN classification. This HSN classification is a multi-purpose nomenclature. Multi-purpose is you can use that particular standard of code um, for selling the goods or importing goods or exporting goods. You can use it for, and it helps you for the standardization and transparency of the data. Standardization means same number will be used in different countries, and transparency is it will be always known to everybody. Suppose if this is a commodity, then this will be the code, so that is common for all the things. Okay, so that will be there in the HSN code. Okay, and it helps to facilitate the computerization of the customs classification and assessment of data in a uniform form. So it also helps. It not only gives you the transparency, it also helps you to make a proper assessment of goods. Proper assessment of the goods in the sense, maybe it has helped you to calculate the custom duty in a proper way. So for that, it is easy to have. Okay. So the features of the HSN code is first one, content of HSN. The content of HSN is basically this HSN number will be a 8-digit number. Okay, that 8-digit number has been classified into 4. Okay, that means chapter number, head number, headings, subheadings, and tariffs. Okay, so the first two digits will denote the chapter, and next two digit will denote your heading, and the next two digit will denote your subheading, and the next two digit will talks about your tariff item. Okay, as I shown in this particular example, I'll show with an example. how the HSN code is determined. See, suppose for example, HSN code for pure breed of a breeding animal. I'm taking this, okay? I'm taking this underline one. First two digit of 001 talks about under which heading it comes under. Okay. The next two numbers will talk about the heading under which it is coming. Okay. And the next two numbers talks about the subheading which is coming under. And the last two digit is talking about the tariff item. Tariff item is under which tariff item it is coming. So this is the way they will clarify the HSN number. Okay. Next one is next feature of this HSN multi-purpose multi-purpose nomiculture. Why it is called as multi-purpose nomiculture is this particular HSN number is common for all over the world. So in that case, it is easy to give you the um, uh, transparency of the document, and also it is easy to give you the documentation. Standard form can be used, and it can be used for any purpose. So that is the reason it is considered as a multi-purpose nomenclature. Third one is your pattern of your HSN number. How your HSN number is comprised of. Basically, your HSN number will have 98 chapters. In that 98 chapters will include your gender interpretation rules. Gender interpretation rules means what are the rates which you will be having. Okay, what are the on what basis certain things will be exempted, and what are the subheading of the notes. So all this will be contained in your HSN number. Okay, and next one is your, this is for the special needs. The fourth feature of your HSN is special needs. Okay, as I told you earlier, your HSN system will have 98 chapters, okay, which is designed based on the goods classification. Goods classification is whether it is for the project needs, or whether it is for laboratory purpose, or whether it is for the passenger baggage. Based on that, it will be identified. Okay, so the identification of the duties based on the imports will be, it is based on the 98 chapters. Based on the 98 chapters, the goods will be classified. Okay, and the next one is rate of duties. So rate of duties of each and every goods will be mentioned in the schedule of the chapters. Okay, if you see the schedule of the chapters, suppose for example, in example which I shown to you, horse, if you are exporting horse for the pre breeded model, so what is the amount of rate which you will be charged under custom duty will be given aside in the chapter itself. So you don't want to go and refer anything. Okay, and what is the purpose of knowing this classification of goods in the census? You will be paying the rates at the proper thing. That's the reason. There is no nothing more than that. Okay, you will be paying right amount to the government. That is the basic purpose of having this. Okay, next one is, what is the methodology which is used to classify this goods? Okay, what is the method they used for classifying the goods that we will see now? Okay, till now we have seen under classification, we have seen how the goods will be classified. It is based on the HSN number. What is this HSN number we have seen, and how this HSN number will be given, that also we have seen, and what is the feature of this HSN number that we have seen. Okay, so now let's see what is the methodology of classifying the number. Basically, the method of classifying of the goods will be based on the heading. Okay, under what head it is coming, and what subheading it is coming, and what is the rule of interpretation. So based on this only, your goods will be classified under your customs act. Okay, so uh, you have to first classify under what heading the goods is coming. You have to mention it first. Okay, then based on that only your goods will be classified. So the principle or methodology used in classification of the goods is the principles of classification. Principles, second one is principles for classification of parts, and third one is classification of goods in the subheadings of a heading. So these are the three methods where we will use to classify the goods. Okay. So the first one is the principle of classification. So the principle of classification is also known as trade parallels theory. Okay. It is also known as trade parallels theory. So this particular principles of classification will also be applied to your excise tariffs. Okay, and also apply to your customs tariffs also. Okay, according to the trade classification theory, the word in the state must be understood in its popular sense. That means when you are under the trade parlance, there is no any technical things will be given. Okay, so only on basis of the goods which we are having, on based on that the classification of goods will be given. Okay. Okay, so here the goods will be classified based on the way it has been given. So there is no any other specific conditions involved in the principles of classification. Next one is principles for classification of parts. So principles of classification of parts is limited. It's similar to your excise tariffs. Excise tariff is like how your custom duty rates has been classified. Okay, so basically your custom duty rates has been classified as a heading, subheading like your nomenclature, sorry, HSN number. Same way your custom duty is being classified. Okay, based on the things it will be coming. Okay, next one is classification of goods in the subheadings and headings. So custom duty has a column like heading number, subheading, and description of item and standardization of goods. So the goods will be classified based on the uh, under which item it is coming. So that is known as classification of goods. Okay. So these are the principles or the methods how the goods will be classified. So goods will be classified on the three bases, on this three bases. Then date for determination of the goods. So how the goods will be determined based on the date. Date for determination of rate of duty. Okay, so the date for determination of rate of duty can be classified into two. One is for importing of goods, other one is for exporting of goods. Okay, so importing of goods will be covered under your section 15 subsection 1. Okay, in this they will be giving the rates and valuation which is applicable when you are doing exporting of goods, and the rate will be depending on the factors under which the goods will be goods is imported. Okay, so the rate of duties of tax can be classified as for imported goods and for exported goods. It is classified into two. Okay, if it is for the import, they will check for the purpose for the import. Suppose the goods can be imported for the home consumption. Goods can be imported for warehouse usage and any other. So these are the three heads under which the goods will be given the rates. Okay, suppose if the goods has been entered into our country for the home consumption, then the rate and the valuation will be imposed on the day on which the bill of entry is respected of such good is presented. That means it will be based on the date which you have received the goods. Okay, and duty will be paid from that particular day. So this is the way they will be calculating your custom duty for the home goods. Okay, so when you receive the goods from that date, the rate will be calculated. Next one is for your warehouse goods. So for this warehouse goods, the rate will be charged based on the disposal of goods from the warehouse. When it has been disposed, based on that, the rate, the custom duty will be charged. And next one is for any other goods. Suppose the goods is not consumed or the goods is not stored in the warehouse. In that case, the tariff rate will be based on the date of payment of the duty. When you are paying the duty, on that basis, the custom duty will be collected. Okay. So these are the ways they will be charging the rates under your custom duty. Okay. Next one is for the export. Suppose if you are exporting the goods also, sometimes you will be paying the export duty. Okay. So exporting goods duties will be classified under your section 16 of your customs act. Okay. And how the rate is calculated for the export duty is, it is classified under two bases. Okay. One is goods enter for the export, and second one is any other cases. Okay. Suppose goods enter for the export is when you have received the goods. Okay. Or when you have received the exported goods. Based on that, the rate will be charged. Okay. Suppose if it is any other goods, then it is based on the payment on the relevant date when you are making the payment. Based on that, the rate will be charged, or rate will be excise rate will be determined by the excise authority. Okay. Way the rates of the custom duty will be determined for the export as well as for the importing of goods. Okay. So with this, I come to end of the today's lecture. So just give a summary. The classification of goods, what we have seen is the goods will be